When did you have to choose which family member to lose? I was slow dancing in the kitchen with my wife when our 27-year-old unemployed son, Kyle, did what he does best. He put me in the hospital with 3 broken ribs and a concussion after I tried to stop him from smashing another TV. I don't know how my children found out, but they did. And next thing I knew, my daughter, 25, called me to give me an ultimatum. Either Kyle goes, or she takes the kids and disappears from our lives completely. My son, Jack, came next. Dad, if he's still living there, you guys aren't coming to my wedding. And when we have kids, they're never meeting you. Everyone thinks the choice is obvious when your adult son beats the SHT out of you. Just get a restraining order and move on with your life. But Kyle has paranoid schizophrenia. His medication makes him so depressed he tried to kill himself twice last year. The only thing that helps him is the devil's lettuce, but as soon as his supply runs out, he gets even more violent. We tried calling the police before, but Kyle was charming when he needed to be. As soon as they had him in psychiatric hold, he'd tell the doctors we were overreacting and that he just had a bad reaction to some new medication. They'd release him within 24 hours every single time. But here's the thing about having a mentally ill child. You always remember who they were before. Kyle got a full ride to engineering school. He played guitar so beautifully, it made my wife Annalise cry. He taught Jack how to ride a bike and stayed up all night helping Amelia study for her SATs. That person was still in there somewhere, trapped behind the voices that told him we were FBI agents trying to steal his thoughts. But enough was enough. When I got home from the hospital with my ribs wrapped and my face looking like I'd gone 10 rounds with Mike Tyson, I knew I had to tell my beautiful wife Annalise we couldn't do this anymore. We can't abandon him, she said, not looking up from the pills. He'll die out there. You know he can't keep a job for more than a month before the paranoia gets bad. If we kick him out, we're signing his death warrant. I knew she was right. The last time we tried to set him up in his own apartment, we found him 3 weeks later living in pure filth, down to 110 pounds because the voices told him all the food was poisoned. And if we don't, we lose everything else, I said. Amelia, Jack, our marriage. How long before he hurts you too? She responded with tears streaming down her face. If you make me choose between saving my sick child and keeping my other children happy, I'll choose Kyle every time, and I'll hate you forever for making me do it. I spent the next week sleeping in the guest room and dodging calls from Amelia, asking if we'd made a decision yet. Kyle had good days where he'd play guitar in his room and help Annalise cook dinner, and I'd think maybe we could find a way through this. Then he'd have bad days where he'd barricade his door and scream about the cameras we'd hidden in the walls, and I'd know we couldn't. Well, I was fast asleep at 3 a.m. when I woke up to Annalise screaming at the top of her lungs. Kyle had her cornered in the bathroom with a baseball bat after convincing himself that she was an imposter wearing his real mother's skin. I managed to tackle him before he swung, but the look in his eyes wasn't human anymore. It was a mix of pure terror and rage. After the police left and Kyle was in another 24-hour hold, I made the choice. I called a lawyer and started the restraining order paperwork. I thought the hardest part would be telling Kyle. I was wrong. The hardest part was watching Annalise pack a bag while I filed the papers. I won't be part of this, she said. When he gets out and finds his stuff on the sidewalk and realizes his own father threw him away like garbage, I won't be here to see it. She moved in with her sister that night. 48 hours later, Kyle was released like clockwork. The hospital called to inform us, but we couldn't let him come home. I hired movers to put his belongings in a storage unit and left the key with his social worker. That night, Amelia called to say she was proud of me. Jack said he could finally plan a real wedding. I sat in my empty house wondering if I'd saved my family or destroyed it. Then my phone rang at 3 a.m. Unknown number. Dad? Kyle's voice was small and confused. I'm at the storage place. Why is all my stuff here? Where's Mom? I could hear traffic in the background. He was standing outside in December in Chicago with nowhere to go. I started to explain, but he cut me off. Never mind, he said, his voice changing to something darker. I know what you did. The voices were right about you. The line went dead. 2 hours later, the police called. There'd been an incident at Annalise's sister's house. As I drove there with my heart pounding, I realized some choices don't save you from tragedy. They just change which tragedy you face. Full story on channel, link below.